Ever wonder why some men seem untouchable? Why do some rise above the rules that cage everyone else? Why do they bend morality to their will and still walk away not only unpunished but admired? There is a truth so forbidden, so unsettling, that most of society hides it beneath layers of comforting lies. You've been told since childhood, be fair, be kind, play by the rules and good things will come to you. But deep down, you've seen it's not true. The ones who rise highest do not play fair. They play to win. Niccolò Machiavelli stripped the mask from this illusion centuries ago. He showed princes, and through them, anyone willing to listen, that power does not reward goodness. It rewards calculation, deception, cruelty when necessary, and above all, the courage to abandon childish notions of fairness. He wrote not for the masses, but for rulers. Not for the powerless, but for the ambitious. And though his words were condemned as immoral, even satanic, the powerful still studied them in secret, because they work. What you are about to hear is not comfortable. It is not motivational fluff. It is not the bedtime story of justice prevailing. It is the anatomy of power itself, stripped bare, ugly and real. If you dare to listen, you will never see the world the same again. Because the first truth Machiavelli whispers is this: life is not fair. Those who insist on fairness are devoured by those who do not. Imagine a chessboard. You play by the rules. Your opponent cheats. Who wins? The one who cheats. The game of power is no different. If you cling to fairness, you handicap yourself against predators who abandoned it long ago. Does this mean morality is useless? No. Machiavelli teaches that morality is a tool. Appear moral, appear just, appear virtuous, but only when it benefits you. Behind the mask, act according to necessity, not ideals. The mask is the first weapon of power. Think about it. Every ruler, every CEO, every influencer wears one. They present themselves as guardians, servants of the people, humble leaders. But beneath the mask lies ambition, hunger, and ruthlessness. The mask deceives the masses. Without it, raw ambition would be rejected. With it, ambition is disguised as virtue. Machiavelli teaches that a prince must learn how not to be good. Not always, but when necessity demands it. He must know when to break promises, when to lie, and when to deceive. To cling to virtue at all times is not virtuous. It is suicidal. The cruel irony is this: people demand their leaders appear virtuous, but they reward those who are effective, even if effectiveness requires vice. They will forgive cruelty if it keeps them safe. They will forgive lies if they bring them stability. They will forgive ruthlessness if it produces victory. Thus, the wise ruler wears the mask of virtue, but beneath it acts with calculation. If you doubt this, look to history. Was Julius Caesar admired because he was kind, or because he was effective? Was Alexander the Great remembered for his morality, or for his conquests? Even today, the leaders who command loyalty are not the gentlest. They are the strongest, the most decisive, the most cunning. This is the forbidden truth. Appearances matter more than reality. People see the mask, not the face. They believe the story, not the facts. They want to be deceived, because the illusion comforts them. A ruler who shows his true nature, cruel, ambitious, ruthless, without disguise, is hated. A ruler who cloaks the same nature in virtue is worshipped. Here is where most people fail. They think being themselves will earn respect. But in the game of power, the self is irrelevant. Respect is manufactured, not given. You must become what others need you to be, while keeping your true self hidden. So ask yourself, what mask do you wear? Do you appear humble, even when ambitious? Do you appear generous, even when calculating? Do you appear kind, even when ruthless? If not, you are naked in a world of predators. Pause here and declare in the comments, I wear the mask of power. Because once you embrace this truth, you stop begging for fairness and begin shaping perception. You step out of the role of prey and into the role of predator. But the mask is only the beginning. Behind it lies the question of control. How do you hold power once you gain it? How do you keep people loyal, obedient, and fearful enough not to betray you? Machiavelli's answer is as shocking as it is undeniable. It is safer to be feared than loved. Love is fragile. It is bound by gratitude, by affection, by emotion. Fear, however, is bound by survival. Love fades when hardship comes, but fear endures. Machiavelli saw human loyalty for what it was: conditional. People love you when you give them comfort, wealth, or security. But the moment those vanish, so does their love. Fear, however, ties them to you even when they hate you, because fear whispers, to betray him is to suffer. This is not to say a ruler should be cruel for its own sake. Cruelty without purpose breeds rebellion, but cruelty used strategically, swiftly, decisively, and rarely, plants seeds of fear that secure obedience. Consider this: a prince who is too merciful allows disorder to fester. Criminals thrive, enemies plot, chaos grows. The people suffer more in the long run. But a prince who uses cruelty quickly and effectively eliminates threats before they spread. He appears harsh, yet in truth, he prevents greater suffering. Thus, cruelty, when used with calculation, becomes mercy in disguise. Machiavelli gave this chilling advice: it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Why? Because love is voluntary. Fear is not. You cannot command love, you can command fear, but beware, fear must not become hatred. Hatred drives rebellion, assassins and conspiracies. Fear alone does not create hatred. Hatred comes when cruelty is excessive, unnecessary, or humiliating. A wise ruler, therefore, punishes only when needed and always with justification. He must appear just even when ruthless. This balance between fear and love is delicate. Too much mercy, you are weak. Too much cruelty, you are hated. The art is in being feared enough to command obedience, yet respected enough to avoid resentment. Ask yourself in your own life, do others respect you out of love, or do they hesitate to cross you out of fear? Which is stronger? Which endures longer? Comment below. I choose fear over love. Because once you understand this, you stop begging for approval. You stop needing to be liked. You begin demanding respect, and respect is the foundation of power. But fear and cruelty alone are not enough. Even the most feared ruler can be undone if he does not master the art of deception. For power is not only about force, it is about perception, and perception is shaped not by truth, but by lies. Machiavelli taught that a ruler must be both lion and fox. The lion frightens wolves with its strength. The fox, to avoid traps, uses cunning. Without force you cannot rule. Without cunning you cannot survive. The lion roars, but the fox whispers. The lion takes, but the fox deceives. The lion enforces, but the fox manipulates. Which are you? Every effective ruler must play both roles. To be only a lion is to be predictable. To be only a fox is to be weak. To combine them is to be unstoppable. Deception is not a sin in politics, it is a necessity. Promises are tools, not chains. Alliances are temporary, not eternal. Words are weapons, not truths. Do you think the masses demand honesty? No. They demand reassurance. They want to be told stories that comfort them, even if false. They want to believe their ruler is virtuous, even if he is not. They crave illusion. The wise ruler gives them this illusion. He promises justice, he speaks of morality, he praises freedom. Behind closed doors, he calculates, betrays, and manipulates. When results arrive, prosperity, victory, stability, the people forgive the lies. Machiavelli knew men are simple. They believe what they see. Appearances matter more than reality. If you appear generous, no one questions your ambition. If you appear religious, no one questions your ruthlessness. If you appear loyal, no one questions your betrayal. Until it is too late. This is the dark truth. Honesty is a luxury the powerful cannot afford. To always tell the truth is to disarm yourself in a world of liars. To deceive is to survive. So ask yourself, do you cling to honesty even when it harms you? Or do you wield lies as tools, shaping perception in your favor? If you understand, declare, I master the art of deception. Because when you embrace this truth, you stop being a victim of lies and start using them as weapons. But even deception and cruelty are not enough if fortune turns against you. For half of life is ruled by chance. The storms, the floods, the betrayals, the unexpected disasters. You cannot control them, but you can control how you respond. And Machiavelli revealed the key: fortune favors the bold. Fortune is a river, unpredictable, wild and dangerous. It will rise and flood your carefully built structures. It will twist and turn, washing away your plans, your alliances, your security. The weak cower, the knave complain, the bold act. Machiavelli teaches that fortune is like a woman. She favors the daring, the relentless, the cunning. She resists the timid and punishes the hesitant. If you wait for the opportunity to knock, you will be left waiting until death. If you charge, adapt, and seize, you bend fortune to your will. Boldness is not recklessness. Boldness is calculated aggression. It is recognizing risk and embracing it strategically. It is understood that fortune will never be tamed entirely, but it can be guided. Imagine this: an enemy attacks when you least expect it. The timid panic, flail, retreat. The bold anticipate, counter, and turn the attack into an advantage. The timid wait for permission to act. The bold act first, ask questions later, and force reality to submit. Declare in the comments, I act boldly, fortune bends to me. Because boldness creates momentum. Boldness inspires respect. Boldness terrifies rivals. The man who hesitates is forgotten. The man who acts decisively is remembered. But boldness alone is not enough. Power demands allies, and alliances are fragile. Machiavelli warned that friends can be enemies, and enemies can be friends. Trust sparingly, observe constantly, test loyalties, prepare for betrayal. Every interaction is data. Every conversation is a test. Every smile could hide a knife. Every handshake could conceal a trap. Do not be naive, but do not be cynical either. Use relationships as instruments. Keep friends close enough to serve you, enemies closer enough to control them. Imagine the advantage while others gossip, plot, and complain. You quietly map the terrain of human behavior. You know who envies, who fears, who respects. You know who can be trusted and who is expendable. You are not reactive, you are proactive. You do not stumble, you strategize. Declare in the comments, I see the truth behind every mask. Because power is not given, it is taken. And those who wait politely for permission will be trampled. Machiavelli also teaches that appearances are everything. A ruler must appear decisive, generous, and courageous, even when inwardly calculating, ruthless, or fearful. The world judges by what it sees, not what exists behind the curtain. Perception is reality, and reality hidden is powerless. Do you understand? Your reputation is a weapon. Your image is a tool. Your presence is influential. Neglect these, and no amount of strength or intelligence will save you. Protect them, sculpt them, command them, and you hold power that others cannot even touch. But all of this, the mask, the fear, the deception, the boldness, the strategic alliances, comes together under one principle that separates the ordinary from the unstoppable: mastery over yourself. Machiavelli writes, the prince who cannot control himself will always be a slave to circumstances. Those who are mastered by fear, anger, or desire cannot rule others. The first conquest must be internal. You must command your emotions, your impulses, your weaknesses. Only then can you bend fortune, allies, enemies, and rivals to your will. Imagine a man who is calm when the world erupts in chaos. Imagine a man who smiles when attacked, who plans when others panic, Who acts while others hesitate? Imagine a man untouchable because his internal fortress cannot be breached. That is the level Machiavelli demands. That is the standard he sets. That is the path to true power. Declare now. I command myself before the world commands me. And here is the most forbidden lesson of all: the world will resist your ascent. The higher you rise, the more they will try to pull you down. People who were once allies will envy you. Indifferent people will fear you. Loyal people will betray you. But Machiavelli shows that these challenges are not obstacles, they are indicators. Every attack, every betrayal, every doubt cast upon you proves you are ascending. Every hand that strikes you confirms that you are in a place worth striking. Do not retreat, do not apologize, do not explain. Let your actions, your cunning, and your resolve respond. Those who oppose you expose themselves. Those who envy you reveal weakness. Those who betray you provide opportunity. Fortune bends to the prepared, but preparation demands discipline. Machiavelli teaches that a ruler's mind must be a fortress, impenetrable, unwavering, and unshakable. The world throws chaos, criticism, and crisis at you. Most crumble. The bold anticipate. The disciplined withstand. Your mind must not be a garden of whimsy, where every insult takes root and every setback sprouts doubt. It must be a citadel of strategy, where emotion becomes data, where pain becomes intelligence, where fear becomes a signal to act with precision. Imagine this: someone undermines your authority, tests your patience, or challenges your boundaries. The average man reacts: heated words, rash decisions, regretful apologies. The man who has built his fortress mind pauses, observes, analyzes, responds, not with emotion but with strategy. Declare in the comments, my mind is my fortress, unbreakable and resolute. Every interaction becomes an opportunity for insight. Every setback becomes fuel. Every criticism becomes a lesson. The man whose mind is a fortress does not waste energy fighting shadows. He focuses only on what matters: results, power, and influence. Silence is the weapon of the disciplined mind. Machiavelli emphasizes, the loudest man in the room is often the weakest. He talks to hide uncertainty. He argues to mask fear. He explains to seek approval. You will do the opposite. You will wield silence like a blade. Words are precious. Speak only when necessary. Speak only when impactful. Speak only when you want the world to notice. Imagine a room of chatter, gossip, and noise. Everyone competes for attention. Then you speak one sentence, one decision, one directive. Everyone stops, everyone listens. Why? Because your silence has built presence. Because your words carry weight. Because unpredictability commands respect. Declare, my silence speaks louder than their noise. But silence alone does not shield you from disappointment. Machiavelli warns that reliance on others is perilous. People are self-serving. Allies falter. Friends betray. Opportunities vanish. Disappointment is inevitable. The wise anticipate it. The unprepared crumble beneath it. Every disappointment contains information. Every failure reveals character. Every betrayal exposes truth. You will not be broken by these realities. You will use them. Convert every setback into leverage, every wound into wisdom, every loss of momentum. Imagine this: someone you trusted undermines you. Instead of rage, you calculate. Instead of despair, you strategize. Instead of weakness, you build. You see the lesson, you adjust your plan, and you move forward stronger. Declare, I convert setbacks into strength. Control over your reputation amplifies your power. Machiavelli teaches that perception governs reality. People judge by what they see. The posture you hold, the words you choose, the consistency of your actions, not by what truly lies within. Stand tall, walk purposefully, act decisively. Let your reputation precede you like a shadow. Make your presence unavoidable. Your standards, your boundaries, your competence, let them radiate through every action. Remember, your reputation is your fortress, just as much as your mind. Neglect it, and others shape it for you. Protect it, cultivate it, command it, and you become untouchable. Declare, my presence commands respect. My reputation is mine to control. Finally, excellence must be your discipline. Machiavelli admired those who practiced virtue in public and cunning in private. But above all, he valued relentless competence. Excellence is not sporadic, it is habitual. It is the unseen labor, the invisible preparation, the relentless pursuit of mastery. Wake early when you desire rest. Persist when you feel fatigue. Choose difficulty over comfort. Let discipline forge character. Let character secure influence. Let influence deliver power. Imagine a life where every small act compounds into dominance. Every decision, every effort, every sacrifice builds the unstoppable you. Others rest, they stagnate, you rise. Slowly, inexorably, inevitably. Declare, excellence is my daily practice. Strength is my habit. Through fortress mind, strategic silence, resilience, reputation control, and disciplined excellence, you begin to transcend ordinary limitations. You transform setbacks into fuel, fear into obedience, deception into advantage, and fortune into opportunity. Critics will emerge, envy will whisper, doubt will attempt to erode your confidence. Machiavelli's lesson is stark. You cannot appease every voice. You cannot satisfy every opinion, and you cannot control the judgments of others. The weak argue, the bold excel. Your response to criticism defines your power, not the critique itself. When someone doubts you, you do not explain. You do not justify, you demonstrate. Let results speak louder than words. Let achievements drown out envy. Let excellence silence dissent. Imagine this: a rival undermines your project. Instead of responding in anger, you channel your energy into perfection. When your work is completed, undeniable, flawless, the criticism dies silently, suffocated by your success. Those who doubted you are exposed, and you rise above with quiet authority. Declare in the comments, I silence critics with results, not excuses. Criticism is inevitable, but destruction is optional. Machiavelli teaches that the truly powerful use it as a tool, evidence of attention, proof of influence, an indicator that you are in a position worth challenging. Every critique becomes a measurement of your ascent. Perception is power. Excellence commands influence. When your work, your decisions, and your discipline are consistent, envy transforms into respect disguised as begrudging admiration. And in this, you find an advantage. The world constantly tests you, yet you remain unbroken, unbending, unstoppable. But power is not only about ignoring the weak, it is about controlling your own narrative. Reputation is the lens through which the world views you. Machiavelli insists, shape that lens deliberately, be deliberate in every action, every word, every gesture. The impression you leave is more potent than intention. Imagine walking into a room where everyone is sizing each other up. Your posture, your confidence, and your aura communicate dominance without a single word. You are not loud. You are not argumentative. You are the standard by which others are measured. Every glance you give, every smile you allow, every silence you maintain builds authority. Declare, I control my narrative, my presence commands respect. Strategic relationships form the next layer of Machiavelli's dark lessons. Allies are essential, but loyalty is rare. Test those who serve you. Observe those who surround you. Accept only those whose allegiance is consistent and whose ambitions do not clash with yours. The knave trust blindly. The wise employ observation. The cunning convert suspicion into advantage. Imagine the satisfaction of knowing precisely who can be relied upon, who can be manipulated, and who will crumble under pressure. This knowledge is power. It allows you to act decisively, strike opportunely, and maintain dominance. Every interaction becomes a calculated step toward greater control. Declare, I see the truth behind every face. I act with precision. Machiavelli warns that fortune favors the bold, but the bold are measured. Recklessness is punished. Preparation amplifies opportunity. Every setback, every betrayal, every unforeseen event is transformed into a calculated advantage. This is not paranoia, it is strategy. This is the mindset that converts chaos into conquest. Imagine adversity striking like a storm. The timid flee, the reactive crumble. You observe, you analyze, you adapt, and when the storm subsides, you stand taller, stronger, more unbreakable than before. Declare, I turn every challenge into my advantage. Through mastering criticism, controlling your narrative, building selective alliances, and embracing calculated boldness, you are no longer a participant in life. You are the architect. You do not react to circumstance. You create circumstance. You do not hope for fortune, you command it. You do not submit to opinion. You define perception. Machiavelli's darkest lessons converge. Here influence is earned through action. Fear is managed through respect. Reputation is sculpted deliberately, and internal mastery is the foundation upon which all power rests. Power is not given. Influence is not inherited. Machiavelli teaches that control must be taken, not requested, and maintained through strategy, foresight, and the relentless exercise of personal authority. Those who wait for permission remain insignificant. Those who seize power shape destiny. Imagine a room where decisions are being made. Voices clash, egos collide, chaos threatens order. You do not yell, you do not debate. You move quietly, decisively, with a presence that alters the energy in the room. Every glance, every measured word, every calculated silence shifts perception. Influence is yours because others sense your command without you having to assert it. Declare in the comments, I move with purpose. My presence influences all. Machiavelli's darkest lesson is that control of influence is rooted in unpredictability. The most feared and respected leaders are those whose actions cannot be anticipated, whose motives cannot be easily read, and whose power cannot be challenged without consequence. Predictability is a weakness. Mystery is strength. Imagine your adversaries attempt to manipulate, test, or provoke you. Instead of reacting, you remain calm, you observe, you anticipate. Then, at the precise moment, you act with strategic precision. The result is not chaos, it is control. The result is not reaction, it is dominance. Declare, I am the master of influence. Unpredictability is my ally. Every interaction is a chessboard. Machiavelli teaches that subtle manipulation is more powerful than overt force. Influence is exercised in the unseen spaces, in the silences, in the controlled distribution of information. Knowledge is currency. Perception is power. Timing is everything. Imagine providing just enough information to guide decisions, just enough visibility to establish authority, just enough action to command attention. Others move, react, and align themselves around your influence, often without realizing they have been guided. Declare, I guide without force. My strategy shapes reality. But absolute influence requires internal mastery. Fear, desire, and attachment are vulnerabilities. Machiavelli warns that those who cannot master themselves are slaves to circumstance. The unstoppable individual converts emotion into strategy. Anger becomes observation. Desire becomes leverage. Fear becomes preparation. Imagine this: a provocative insult is aimed at you. Others would react. Anger, retaliation, justification. You do not. You measure. You assess. You let the insult reveal the attacker's character. Your calm is a weapon. Your restraint is dominance. Every attempt to unsettle you fails because you have become unshakable. Declare, I convert emotion into strategy. Nothing shakes me. Machiavelli emphasizes that the perception of power often outweighs actual power. Let others believe you are more capable, more prepared, more strategic than even you are. When people perceive invincibility, They hesitate. They comply. They respect. Your reputation amplifies your influence, and your influence consolidates your power. Imagine walking into negotiations, conflicts, or opportunities. Your confidence is tangible. Your composure is magnetic. Your strategy is invisible, yet its effect is undeniable. Every move you make is deliberate, every pause calculated, every word weighted. Influence becomes instinct. Control becomes effortless. Declare, "My presence commands obedience. My strategy is unstoppable." Through mastering unpredictability, guiding perception, converting emotion into leverage, and exercising strategic influence, you are no longer subject to the whims of circumstance. You become a force unto yourself. You operate beyond fear, beyond envy, beyond challenge. You embody Machiavelli's darkest principle: true power is silent, unseen, inevitable. This is the final lesson, the culmination of Machiavelli's darkest teachings. Power, influence, strategy, and control all converge into a single, unstoppable force: mastery over yourself and the world around you. You are no longer constrained by opinion, circumstance, or expectation. You operate on a higher plane, untouchable and undeniable. Imagine this: every challenge that once threatened to derail you now becomes a tool for ascent. Every betrayal, every setback, every misstep is transformed into leverage. You do not react, you anticipate. You do not hope, you command. You do not follow, you dictate the course of events. Declare in the comments, "I am the master of my destiny. Nothing can stop me." Machiavelli's darkest truth is simple, but terrifying. The world fears those who cannot be controlled, those who cannot be intimidated, those who operate independently of validation, attachment, or approval. You have cultivated that independence. Your strength is absolute. Your influence is pervasive. Your presence is magnetic. Imagine walking through life with this invincibility. Criticism bounces off you. Opposition falters in your presence. Doubt becomes irrelevant. Your every action is deliberate. Your every word carries weight. The world cannot sway you because you are anchored in self-mastery. Declare, "I move with unstoppable purpose. I am unbreakable." Machiavelli teaches that to be truly unstoppable, one must combine every lesson: the silence that intrigues, the mind that analyzes, the discipline that strengthens, the reputation that precedes, the strategic alliances that support, and the influence that commands. One missing element, and a vulnerability appears. One weak link, and power diminishes. Total mastery is holistic: mental, emotional, strategic, and social. Imagine no longer being swayed by flattery or scorn, no longer needing approval or fearing rejection. You have become your own authority. You decide your value. You dictate your path. You define your outcomes. You are free from the chains of naivety, weakness, and manipulation. Declare, "I am complete. I am unstoppable. I am inevitable." Every individual you encounter tests your new boundaries. Every challenge gauges your preparedness. Every skeptic, every rival, every manipulator tries and fails to find a weakness. You have none. You have eliminated every vulnerability, fortified every skill, and sharpened every strategy. You are not merely strong. You are legendary. Machiavelli reminds us that the ultimate power lies in perception fused with capability. Let the world underestimate you, but let it also witness the results. Let whispers of envy turn into respect. Let doubt turn into awe. Let the challenge turn into a triumph. You do not seek recognition. You create inevitability. Imagine this final vision. The person you were at the beginning of this journey, uncertain, reactive, seeking approval, is gone. In its place stands someone transformed, someone disciplined, someone strategic, someone who commands influence without effort, someone who turns adversity into fuel and silence into power, someone who is, by every measure, unstoppable. Declare one final affirmation in the comments. "I have mastered myself. I am the architect of my destiny. I am unstoppable. This is the pinnacle of Machiavelli's most profound lessons: self-mastery, strategic influence, controlled perception, disciplined excellence, and unshakable presence. You have moved beyond limitation. You have transcended fear. You have conquered chaos. You are no longer subject to the whims of fortune. You command them. The world will test you relentlessly, but you are prepared. Your strength is internal. Your strategy is impeccable. Your influence is undeniable. You are untouchable because you operate from a place few ever reach: the complete, unstoppable mastery of mind, body, and perception. Now, go forth, command attention, influence outcomes, shape reality. The principles you have learned are forbidden truths for a reason. They create men who cannot be broken. You are one of them. You are unstoppable.